started social media, bringing awareness to myself, my brand, my character, where my focus is, and I started this journey to, again, keep me accountable, but also to share what I learn, what I'm learning, what I've experienced, what am I experiencing. So you and me and anybody can go out and actually achieve what we believe we deserve. So I started social media. I started with 0 followers. 0 followers on YouTube, 0 followers on Insta and Facebook. And my intention was just to document every day what I do, in the steps I take to enhance my own life, change my own beliefs, create new beliefs, create new growth, new learnings, learn to action, learn to be able to achieve the goal and the vision I've got. And it's a bold move I've made in doing so. It's something that is well out of my comfort zone. I'm a kind of person who's quite private. So social media and posting and, always looking on social media was not part of my daily routine. It wasn't something what interests me. I rarely posted anything. I rarely even looked. And by me taking a step out of my comfort zone and starting to create content for social media platforms, it took me a long time to overcome. I knew that it was something that I needed to do. It was something I needed to be able to learn to communicate, structure how I tell my story. And I'm doing it live on an open platform to the public, to go through my failures and my wins, more importantly, but my fails, and to just to go out and do. Because through experience we get better by actually doing. We can think of lots of reasons not to keep us in this comfort zone. I like to call that my ditch voice. So basically just to ditch anything I want to do, any new learnings or a new adventure, or making intent actionable steps. And then you've got your boss voice, your conscious voice, and that is a voice which tells you can do it, you can make it. And the boss voice shows up when we are excited, or we are in the moment, or that it's put upon us, and boss voice tells us, this is where it is. And his boss voice after also tells us what a great job we've done, and what a great achievement, a major win, or a little win, but a win. And we've got to acknowledge those wins as and when they arise, no matter how small they are. If that's from, getting up and just cleaning, that's a win. If you didn't do anything else that day, if you've got up and you've cleaned and you can sit and look around and be sat in your win, to the major wins, You know, the major steps we take and all those little steps we take towards that big goal. But then you have your ditch voice. Now that plays more of a role in his daily lives than his boss voice. Because when we're feeling tired, hungry, when we are doing something outside our comfort zone, when we have to learn a new procedure, a new routine, a new habit, when we want to progress, as ditch voice is the first voice what tells us, nah, don't do it tomorrow. You forget about that. It's, you know, we can start that later. Let's have some tea and let's sit, or you know, let's pick up a book or put a movie on, and it tells us to do it after we've done that, and or it reminds us as ditch voice of what we are led to believe we are as we've grown. The learnt behaviour either being passed to us by our adults, our peers around us, or what we've developed from the experiences we've had in those environments. And that ditch voice reminds us of how uncomfortable and how wrong and how silly or how we can't do. And the ditch voice really comes, you know, very strong, louder than the boss voice. And for us, we've got to learn to actually ditch that, to just go and do, and tune into our boss voice. Because we know that by listening to his ditch voice, we'll always be in the same position. We'll always do the same thing. We always have the same life. We'll never reach our potential. And we are born to do something great. We just need to learn to develop the greatness, which is our gifts and our talents, learn to harness them and to put them in practice every day. I personally have turned to self-education, personal development and business books to get to a stage where I am right now. And on other social media platforms, I'm sharing the different books, what it's meant to me, the strategies I've learned and how I implement it, and I share that on this site today, and will continue to share from my past videos to where we are now. We're the only barrier to our success. We can only go and experience that will make us better. And learning to ignore the ditch voice and to be able to change how that ditch voice tells us by actioning, visualizing, changing and doing, and creating new programs, new ways in which to think, can we lower the ditch voice and create the boss voice. Whereas ditch voice even can be, yeah, let's do this, because that's in his comfort zone. Because we've raised his comfort zone far beyond where it was. We've grown. That's where true growth comes from. Is taking actionable steps. Small actionable steps. Being repetitive on taking those small actionable steps, staying focused. And part of being focused is to focus on the little steps, not the big step, because the big step, as Ditch Voice will always tell us to not, and we can't do it. But taking and focusing on little steps actually does make those little investments, actionable investments towards reaching that big step. And what that does to us, what that does to me and my belief system, my thought process, my voices in my head is unreal, and something I am so pleased to have learned. But we've all got that within us. We've all got greatness within us. We just got to be able to accept, forget, and not let us past hurt us, but focus on the here and now. And when I say that, it's something which can take a long time. We're in a life, and a life in a sprint, it's a marathon. And we've got to remember that by being patient, it ain't gonna happen straight away. By taking intentional steps, we will slowly change that. And I've kind of living proof of having to change that, because I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing here. I wouldn't have, documenting my life and this journey, my startup company. I wouldn't be progressing with that, and I sure wouldn't be posting on social media the steps or the lessons or the experience or the inspiration I'm sharing. But you've got to remember that the little wins are so important to remember about, whether it's a small thing you've done towards your ultimate goal. You've got to acknowledge them wins. I acknowledge them most evenings, all evenings, especially when my ditch voice is coming to tell me about all the things I've done wrong today. You know what I mean, the ditch voice. Telling you, recalling the certain situations, places, beings, actions we've done and how we've done them wrong. Or what if we would have done it this way or that way or any other way than the way we did it. But then if we focus back into our wins, and what our wins, no matter how small they are, we're actually changing our own thought process there and then. We're actually changing the focus we have on us as there, and putting it into a positive boss voice. But for me, I wake up the next day and it's a new day. Then wins were the wins yesterday. What wins am I gonna achieve today? What actionable steps am I gonna go out that day? What could be just one thing I action that day towards achieving or growing or learning. And I'll hold true to that win. And I'm not going to tell you it happens all the time. Sometimes I can sit there with the ditch voice actually really drilling me down. But I seem to accept the next day that it was the case, and my intention today is to not allow that ditch voice to play its part, and for me to focus on the wins I'm going to achieve that day, even if it's just for 2 minutes, then that's a win. And it doesn't have to be achieving your goal. It could be just, you've done something in your home, you've done something with your child, and seeing them happy. It could be just giving, but they're wins, and they're the things we need to focus on. I believe in us. I believe in you. Do like, share, comment, follow, and keep posting these videos to hopefully help others. This is my life, my journey, my startup. This is me.